everybody! Hello, internet beautiful people! This is going to be a wrap-up of all the books I read in the month of October. Happy Halloween, you guys! It's technically Halloween on the day that I'm filming this. I don't know if I'm gonna get this posted by the end of Halloween or not, because today's gonna be kind of busy, but I carved out some time to film a video. Woo! So, just so you know, I am a steampunk cat for Halloween. That's my thing. I wasn't gonna dress up for this video, okay? But then I saw the Gray Lionesses cosplay video this morning and I was like, oh my god, now I have to dress up. So I went and pulled out steampunky cat-like things and I decided to be a steampunk tabaxi. Technically, tabaxi. If you guys love D&D and you guys know what a tabaxi is, that's what I'm saying I am. But if you don't, I'm a steampunk cat, if you don't know what a tabaxi is. Anyway, so, hello. All right. All the books that I read. Oh, by the way, Steve's here. Steve's here. Steve says hi. Steve says hi to everybody. He's so excited to be here for this wrap-up video, hanging out in his little web back there. All right, so all the books that I read in the month of October. Are we ready to go? I'm ready. All right, first of all, I want to start with an honorable mention, one that I have not finished yet, is Abaddon's Gate by James S.A. Corey. I am technically only on page 2, but I read the first page of Abaddon's Gate in October. Hopefully I'll finish it at the beginning of November. But anyway, this is an honorable mention. I don't have a lot to say about it since I am only on page 2. But it's happening, and part of it, the first page happened this month, and I really enjoyed the first page. I enjoyed the first page immensely. There was this, like, spaceship pilot in this spaceship, and he was doing the slingshot maneuver thing, and it was cool. I liked him. I liked his brain. He was a very interesting little dude. So, yeah, Abaddon's Gate. All right. So the very first book that I finished in the month of October was Spinning Silver by Naomi Novak. Okay, you guys, I really love Spinning Silver. I loved this book so much. It had a great beginning. All the characters are so rich, and I loved every single one of these people. And it just had so many strong themes about family and what family is and how families are built and how families are created and just family love and things like that. It was just beautiful. And even friends bonding and sort of becoming family, and even people being adopted into families, sort of, kind of, I loved it. I thought that there was a lot of really beautiful themes in this book. So the main character, her name is Miriam, and she is the money lender for her village. Actually, her dad is, but her dad wasn't a very good money lender, so Miriam kind of took over his job and became the money lender, money collector kind of person in her small little village. And because of this, she was able to turn a bunch of silver into gold through lending and then spending and then buying things and then going to the market and then lending out more and then collecting gold in return and then having things made and built and then selling, with silver and then selling that for gold. And so basically, she was able to turn crates of silver into gold because of her money lending job that she was really, really good at. In doing so, she attracted the attention of these fae creatures. What are they called? I don't even know. Starix? I think these Starix kind of creatures, they reminded me a lot of the fae. And so the Starix come and kidnap her because they think that her ability is magical, and I think that they don't realize that she uses barter and all kinds of stuff like that to turn silver into gold. So she gets herself into a very Rumpelstiltskin-y kind of situation with these Starix creatures. And because they crave gold and they covet gold, and they're like, turn this into gold for us, because we've seen you do it with multiple things. We've seen you take chests of silver and then come back with chests of gold. And she's like, wait a second, I can't just get locked in a storeroom and turn silver into gold in a storeroom. This isn't gonna work. So anyway, Spinning Silver, I would definitely recommend it. It was amazing. Loved it. Okay, so also in the month of October, I did the Spookathon. And I don't even remember what order I read Spookathon books in, but I think I think I started with City of Ghosts. Oh my gosh, you guys, City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. I loved this book. It was so cute. Okay, so there's this girl. Her name's Cassidy. She is a haunted girl on an adventure like no other. Anyway, she has this experience where she dies, but she doesn't die. Somehow she's dead, but she's not dead kind of situation, all except she's still here. Like, she died, but now she's still here, and I don't know. And at first I thought that, oh, maybe she just got resuscitated and like she's not dead because she got brought back medically, but she didn't actually get brought back medically. There's some other kind of ghosty stuff going on with why she got brought back from the land of the dead. Anyway, so now she is just in middle school, like trying to live like a normal girl, all except she keeps seeing ghosts and she keeps like having all these kind of crazy experiences. And she's a photographer. She loves photography, so she keeps trying to take pictures of all these like ghosts and like haunted crazy things that she sees. And it's just really fun to like watch her creativity and watch her like attempt to use her creativity to photograph all these crazy things going on around her that nobody else can see. And most of the time the pictures come out blank as well. She can just see like little blurs and things. She's like, I know what that was though, that blur was a thing, like, you know. Anyway, so it was such a cute book, and you guys, I know it's by Victoria Schwab, and I know Victoria Schwab is like really hit and miss sometimes, and I was actually hesitant to pick up City of Ghosts just because I hadn't liked the past couple books I'd read by Victoria Schwab, but you guys, I'm so glad I picked up City of Ghosts because I am back on the Victoria Schwab train. I am so excited. I want to go pick up like other books now that she's written that I'd skipped because City of Ghosts was so good and so cute, and the cat's name is Grim, and he's a very pissed off cat, and it's amazing. It's the cutest little ghost story that, like, you would ever read. Like, I just absolutely love it, and I love Cassidy, and her best friend is also a ghost. Like, one of these ghosts that she sees, like, is kind of haunting her, but not exactly haunting her because, like, they're best friends, and so she's being haunted, but she's, like, best friends with the ghost that's haunting her. It's so cute. It's so cute. Anyway, yes. If you're looking for a good little ghosty read to pick up, this one. Please pick up this one. It's just, so wonderful. So Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. Okay, so there were like plenty of Swamp Thing renditions before Alan Moore wrote this Swamp Thing, and I think there's probably been plenty of renditions after Alan Moore wrote the Swamp Thing. But this particular rendition of Swamp Thing was absolutely groundbreaking in its time, and it like completely set the stage for graphic novel storytelling. One of my favorite stories is how Swamp Thing was created. It was created by a guy named Len Wein, who back in like 1970 was on a train headed to a meeting with a guy named Joe, and he needed to pitch Joe an idea, but he did not have an idea at all to pitch. Len didn't. So he got to the meeting and he was just like, I don't know, there's this guy and he's murdered by his best friend and his body's tossed in a swamp and then he's resurrected by a swamp. Why not? And Joe was like, yeah, that's the best idea ever, go write that. And Len was like, oh, okay. And so he went home and he wrote out the idea, but like he was just kind of like, whatever. So he just kept calling it like, yeah, I'm just working on some swamp thing, I don't know, just a swamp kind of story thing, I don't know, just like that thing with the swamp. And he just kept calling it like, yeah, that swamp thing that I'm working on. And then that actually became the title of, you know, this whole massive character and, you know, world that was created and is now called the Swamp Thing. Because he never actually came up with a real title for his story. So anyway, that Swamp Thing is now the Swamp Thing. And I love it. I just think it's awesome. I love it when, you know, we just kind of pull ideas out of our butts and then they turn into like whole universes. Why not? Anyway, so Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. It was really good. It was really deep. It had a lot of complex questions about humanity. It was beautiful. It was deep. It was interesting. It asked a lot of complex questions for the reader to answer, and I really loved it. I loved these characters, and I loved the story. So yeah, Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. Okay. Another book I picked up was a graphic novel, Sandman by Neil Gaiman. Oh my gosh, this graphic novel, you guys, was so freaking beautiful. Okay, it was so freaking beautiful. I Loved it. Now, it's also incredibly dark and incredibly gory, and there's some really nasty, messed up shit in this graphic novel. So, if you don't like, it's very kind of horror-esque. So if you don't like bad, horrible things, I wouldn't read this book if I were you, but it is very deep. It's a very good story. So, story starts off. Oh, by the way, it's by Neil Gaiman. Did I not say it was by Neil Gaiman? It's by Neil Gaiman. Anyway, alright, so, story starts off. There's like this group in this like secret cult thing that they're trying to kidnap Death, and so they have this seance in order to kidnap Death, the character. However, they mess up, and they don't get Death. They get Death's younger brother, the Sandman, or the god of dreams and nightmares. They were trying to kidnap Death, but they missed and they got Death's younger brother, but Death is actually a character in this graphic novel that like shows up, and I loved this portrayal of Death. Actually, that was like one of the main things I think about when I think about this graphic novel is like Death was the coolest character I had ever read. It was like the coolest portrayal of Death that I had ever seen in literature. Like, I loved this character. And like, this character was so comforting when they would show up. Like, when somebody died, like this character would show up and be like, your time's up, sweetie, but it's gonna be okay. It's time for the next adventure. Like, you know, and it's just so like, oh, such a positive portrayal of Death that it was so comforting and just like, oh, oh, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Like, you know? Anyway, so I don't want to tell you too much about what this book is about, but also, okay, since the main character is the god of dreams and nightmares, there is a lot of nightmarish imagery, and that's kind of where a lot of like the horror stuff comes in, that where some of like the really dark, messed up stuff, because the main character can control nightmares, and he's got like these different relics that can control nightmares, and then there's these other people that kind of get in control of these nightmare relics, and they completely cause havoc. And the book in this graphic novel kind of like goes into a lot of like these nightmares that people are having, and like these things that are happening to people in their nightmares, and that's where like some of like the really, really dark, messed up stuff happens, and you're just like, oh my god, like some of this stuff, like I actually had to skip a few pages because it just got really gory and just really like, you know, but I only skipped a few pages, and it was only like the super, super gory, horrible stuff that I skipped. So anyway, I would still recommend Sandman because it was beautiful, and Death is my favorite. Death is just my favorite. Like, oh my god, I want to be Death's best friend. Good graphic novel, very deep, lots of complexity, lots of gore. Great story, beautiful characters. Sandman, Neil Gaiman. Alright, you guys, the very last book I completed totally in the month of October was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Oh my god, you guys. When I first jumped into it, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, actually. Because it was kind of, I thought it was a little bit slow moving at first, and it's just this guy and his life, and you don't really know what's going on. But as the story started to progress, it just got more and more interesting and more complex and more deep, and like there was just more and more stuff going on. And then more and more like questions like kept coming up, and I was like, oh, this is so good. And like by the end of it, I was like, yeah, that was so good. Anyway, so, let's see, what is this about? Alright, there's this main character. His name is Jason. Main character, his name is Jason Dezen. And Jason Dezen gets kidnapped by a person and sent to a alternate reality. But then, once he gets to that alternate reality, he realizes that that's not his life, and then there's something weird is happening. And then he has to, like, jump in this tesseract kind of thing and jump from alternate reality to A, get back to his life, but also run from people that are hunting him. And it was so interesting because like he would just jump to all these alternate versions of our world. So he went to like an Ice Age version of our world, then he went to like a zombie apocalypse version of our world, and it was like modern time period, you know. Then he went to like just a post-apocalyptic version of our world, and then there was like plenty of versions of our world that were like our world but like different in just like a small little way. And it was so interesting to watch like our time period portrayed in an ice age, or our normal time period, just like the way things are portrayed in a zombie apocalypse or post-apocalyptic, because like buildings were crumbling, and it was just so fun. Anyway, but also here's the thing, is because Jason was jumping between all kinds of alternate realities, there were so many different Jasons by the end of this story, and then they were all like fighting each other to try to get back, and like fighting each other to get back to the original life that was theirs, right? But by the end of it, our main character Jason was the only Jason that was actually Jason, because every other character was changed or different in some way because they had a slightly different life experience. And it was just so interesting, and it had a lot of really deep questions about like what makes us who we are and what makes us individual. Anyway, good book, really good book. Highly recommend it. So these are all the books that I completed in the month of October. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hit that like button for me so that I feel the love. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that subscribe button down below, that little red button there that says subscribe, so that I know that you're watching my channel. And I'm actually, at this point, I'm so close to 100 subscribers, you guys. I'm so excited. I like check it every day. I think I've actually gone down. I was at 99 for like 2 days, and then I went back down. Anyway, but hit that subscribe button, because like I'm trying to get to 100 and I'm super excited about it, and I love you guys, and I want to see your face. I want to see more of your face. Comment down below so that I can actually see your face and see what you think and hear all your thoughts and say hello. So anyway, I love you guys. You're so freaking beautiful. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.